Hi everyone, it's Joe from Homegrown Musician and welcome back to another video. So in today's episode we're going to be doing something slightly different and we're actually going to be taking a look at a product. So the product in question is the BBC Discover Orchestra by Spitfire Audio. So this is actually a sample pack, and for those of you that don't know, a sample pack is basically a professional recording of a real world instrument turned into a MIDI instrument that you can use in your own DAW. So sample packs are dead useful because what they mean is you don't actually have to own or even be able to play an instrument, so for example piano, dulcimer, or in this case a full symphony orchestra, but you can still use it in your own compositions, which makes them really useful tools for composers and producers alike. So most DAWs will come with their own built-in sample packs. So for example, Logic has the EXS24 samples, Ableton Suite comes with loads of sample packs if you decided to opt for that, so you probably already own a few. However, you can also opt to buy additional sample packs from third-party companies like Spitfire Audio. Now Spitfire are known for making world-class samples, but let's be honest, you're looking to pay a world-class price for them. But that's the interesting thing about the Discover Orchestra, because at the minute it is completely free. All you need to do is go onto Spitfire's website, fill in a quick questionnaire, took me about 10 minutes, and 2 weeks later you'll get your own copy of the Discover Orchestra sample pack. If you want, you can pay £49 for a direct download, but trust me, it is worth the wait. So the Discover Orchestra comes with its own built-in plugin, which I think is a really nice feature. It means it works straight out of the box and you don't need to download anything else to use it. It's really simple, click and play sort of stuff. Simply load the plugin on a blank MIDI channel just like any other virtual instrument. Once you open the plugin, here's what you'll be greeted with. The majority of the interface is taken up by the orchestra seating plan, which is how you choose the instrument you want to use. Simply hover over it in the orchestra and click. Don't worry if you don't know where things sit in an orchestra, because the overlay will tell you what you hovered over. Once you've decided on the instrument you want to use, you can choose the playing style below, either long flowing legato or short stabby staccato. There are also additional playing styles for string parts such as spiccato and tremolo. There are then 3 further sliders which can change the sound: expression, dynamics, and the reverb knob, which controls the amount of built-in reverb within the plugin. So personally, I found the effect that these 3 sliders has varies depending on the patch you use, so instrument to instrument. For some, they do quite a lot, for others, a little bit less. So now we're going to be listening to the instruments in isolation. Like I said before, I'll have timestamps in the description so you can skip straight to the parts you want to listen to. So before I get into my opinion, I just want to say a little bit about my background as a musician. So I don't really score for orchestra a lot, and I've never really worked with orchestral samples. It's just not something that I do in my day-to-day practice. In fact, this is the first third-party orchestral sample pack I've ever used. So what I'm basically trying to say is somebody with more experience working with orchestra, particularly MIDI orchestras, could probably make these samples sound even better than I can, and they're going to have a different opinion on those samples based on their current experiences. However, all that being said, I have played in orchestras all my life, and I grew up playing brass instruments, so I'm very familiar with the sounds these orchestras are trying to recreate. So now for the juicy bit, my opinion. So personally, I think these samples sound great. I mean, they're free, so that's obviously a big bonus, but not only that, they're less than 300 megabytes in size, but still full of detail, and they sound incredible. It is a testament to how good Spitfire Audio stuff is, and to be honest, I think that's kind of the point. They're basically saying, if our free stuff is this good, how good do you think our paid stuff is going to be? I mean, the default Logic stuff, it just really doesn't cut the mustard, and by comparison to this, it just shows you how lucky we have it as bedroom musicians today, because these are the tools we get to use and they don't even cost us anything. So I'm personally really fond of the string sounds. I think they sound incredible, really lush, really nice, and the tune percussion also sounds amazing. In fact, it sounded that good, it really heavily inspired the piece of music I wrote at the beginning of this video. Now, obviously, I don't think it's the perfect sample pack, and it does have its limitations due to the size constraints, so I'm not particularly fond of the trumpet sounds, if I'm honest. Obviously, that's just my personal opinion, feel completely free to disagree with me, but I do think they're probably some of the weaker samples in the pack. Not only that, I couldn't find a snare roll, which is really strange because the untuned percussion overall sounds really good and there's quite a wide variety of it, and I might just be being an idiot and looking in the wrong place, but I don't think I am, and I couldn't find a snare roll anywhere, which is a shame because I could have really done one for the piece that I composed for this video. So another small niggle that I do have is the amount of reverb on everything. So even with the knob turned to 0, everything's still got a fair amount of reverb and decay, somewhere in the region of about 2 seconds, and it is quite a lot. And whilst it does sound really nice, I do think it limits the samples a bit, because I'd love to use some of these samples, particularly the strings, in more of a pop setting, but with this much reverb, it makes that kind of difficult. Admittedly, it is an orchestral sample pack, not a pop sample pack, but it's a shame because the samples sound so nice and I would like to use them in other scenarios. So some final notes: if you are at all interested in orchestral samples or writing your own music at home, you should definitely be downloading this sample pack. I mean, it's 300 megabytes. Everybody's got 300 megabytes on their computer, and not only that, it is completely free. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe, as it would massively help the channel.